So, hope you guys have a very nice day today, even after the chaos of the politics and everything, but no worries about that. Life must go on. So, today the talk is about data science and ML 101. So, can go to the next slide, please? Okay, I will introduce myself a little bit. So my name is Fairoza Amira Binti Hamzah. If you ever seen me 2 years ago in the TV, so that is me. So yeah, I received my master, bachelor degree and PhD from Nagaoka University of Technology, Japan. My study was in electrical, electronics and information engineering. But then after that, I joined the information science and control engineering more to the computer science lah. Previously was doing all of the electrical stuff, and then like after that, I be interested with the image processing. Then that's why I joined the lab in the information science department. And then I also did my research internship in the University of Warwick, UK. And after that, after graduated from PhD, I just right away become an assistant professor in the Kyoto College of Graduate Studies for Informatics, Japan. And from there, it's like I'm the first lecturer that actually open up the AI department concentration, I would say, like teaching AI programming and everything. Then in 2019 also, I became the woman in AI ambassador for Japan. And after that, COVID happened. So I also I try to understand the data science landscape in Malaysia. So that's why I try to join the Corona Tracker and eventually being appointed as a research group. So from there, actually, we managed to publish one paper that was in the bulletin of WHO. And that's the reason I was featured in TV3, Awani, and all of the TV channels because of our how we predict the COVID-19 with the data. And until today, the COVID-19 is still not over. So it's actually exactly like what we predicted. So that's why I come back to Malaysia. And then I open up Women in AI Malaysia as a president for Malaysia chapter. And then I also would like to join the industry. So from academics, moving to the industry, becoming a machine learning engineer in Vatens. And after that, I joined a semiconductor company in ST Microelectronics, becoming the data scientist and lead science in the branch in Malaysia. So it's a very wonderful experience of starting everything from scratch. And then in March 2021, we opened up our own company, which we call as FAI Holdings Berhad, FAI Technologies. And I'm the co-founder and the chief operating officer there. And at the same time, I also joined Torum Technologies Berhad as the senior AI engineer. So I'm the only Malaysian that actually received the Women in ICT Asia Awards last year as in a Rising Star category. And then I'm also being featured, I think like Women in AI Malaysia has been endorsed by MOSTI a few months ago in the National AI Roadmap. So we have the roadmap of National AI, how we want to plan AI for Malaysia under the MOSTI. So that's a little bit about me. You can follow me in Twitter. Just type Dr. Fairoza, and then Facebook Fairoza Amira, but I rarely approve people on Facebook. Just maybe you can follow me in Twitter and also LinkedIn lah, Fairoza Amira Binti Hamzah. Sometimes it's a very nice thing, but I will try to refrain myself to post anything about politics. That's the most important. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Okay, so I think this one we are going to do it in quizzes, right? We are not going to do it now. Okay, so we will skip this part. So I will not try to explain what is the domain of the data science that you already know, because I believe everyone here already heard about data science a lot. So data science is everywhere, even in politics also, like, you know, those who really leverage data, they can win the PRU easily, actually. So we have I have one friend that actually do all of this analytics, and they can actually predict, not really predict the sentiment of Malaysians, like who is going to become, like which party that is going to. So it's all there already. So let's see. I know that every one of you may be an aspiring data scientist. I would like to understand, maybe we can start to see who is data scientist real job. What is their data scientist real job? Okay, this is all the real job description that I took out from the LinkedIn. So you can see this company X, they want someone that can develop various analytic models, use cases, recommendation engine. You have segmentation, acquisition model. Wow, this is so bombastic. And then you also have perform data wrangling and extract exploratory insights. So means you also need to wrangle the data. You need to build a model, you need to wrangle the data, you need to do the EDA also. And then the next thing, you need to conduct advanced data analysis. I don't really understand what people mention the advanced data analysis actually. Maybe anything that further beyond Excel, because even Excel also is a part of data analysis. And then solve analytical problem. So this one is quite difficult for someone who don't really understand the data or don't really wrangle the data a lot. They don't really understand what is the analytical problem they find. And then another thing, who is muting me? Okay, everyone can hear me, right? Not mute anymore, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I was very surprised who mute me. Okay, then work closely to provide cross-functional solutions. So basically cross-communication skills. Okay, let's see the next company, what they want. Next slide. Okay, the next company, develop, implement, and maintain quantitative models. So you need to develop, you need to implement, and you need to maintain. And then the next thing is monitor, backtest, and report performance of the models. So monitoring, backtesting is very difficult to do. A lot of AI project, AI features that is being developed is usually stay in the development phase. They are very difficult to go for the production. Why? Because once they pass it to the QA team, to the tester, and the tester will say, oh, this one is not really good. We didn't get 40% accurate according to our live data. Then it will pass back to the AI engineers or data scientists, and they need to wrangle back the data and to understand. So that's why they have like ML flow, airflow, what kind of like monitor of the model. But then still very difficult. Sometimes you still need to do it manually. And the last thing, active engagement with stakeholders. Because being a data scientist, being an AI engineer, you need to understand to communicate with people. If you don't understand the data, how you want to develop a good model with you? Okay, next please. So in AI technologies, so who is the kind of people that we always look when we want to get an AI engineer? Usually we want someone that loves data. That's the most important. If you don't love data, I don't want to take you seriously. It was like because you don't really think that data is precious. You don't really think that you are happy to wrangle the data. And then love the maths and logics of wrangling data. Why do we put mathematics here? Because even though you just like copy and paste, not copy and paste lah, either you copy and paste code from Stack Overflow, or maybe like you just like taking all of the Python packages, but then you still need to have the maths, because you need to understand what is the evaluation matrix. You need to think about precision, accuracy, and after that you also need to think of how this algorithm should be in which flow. If this one become this, then what should happen then? Something like that. So if you don't understand the maths, you don't want to understand the meaning of wrangling data, then this is not you as a data scientist or AI engineer. And then after that, you have a basic understanding of AI, data science, and are keen to explore more. So we always put like bonus if you know data science tool, agile methodologies, because in software company, usually every product will be done by Scrum. It's not going to be in waterfall. Waterfall is usually in a semiconductor company. Mostly they will use waterfall, but nowadays I think they started to transition to Scrum. Scrum means like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, you will have like sprint planning, and then like you need to finish up by using the sprint, like according to the sprint planning and whatsoever. So it's always, you will always get to use new requirements. And of course, Python. I don't use R. I studied R before, but not really using R. So what is the data scientist real job scope? So we already see the responsibilities we have just now. So before we go into this, we have like AI, data science, machine learning, deep learning, big data. So what is all of this? Okay. So AI, go back first. Okay, so you can see like deep learning is in the middle, and then you have data science and you have data. Not everything big data is considered as data science. So easy to say like this lah. You have COVID-19 dashboard, right? COVID now dashboard. It's just they have a lot of big data that we have, like how many COVID patients have, like how much vaccine is being vaccinated. But then if you don't build a visualization there, don't do any dashboard there, then you are not going to get the data science of the big data. You cannot understand, you cannot give inference and hypothesis based on that. And then, but the COVID now dashboard is not yet in AI. Because in AI, you have machine learning, you have neural networks, you have deep learning. Meaning that everything can be automated and everything is learned by themselves. Like, very easy example of deep learning is like the background remover that we have in Microsoft Teams, or background, like, how they actually understand that this is the face of human. So this is how actually the deep learning is being done lah. But because I also learned traditional image processing, so actually we can also do it without deep learning. Okay, so next. So in the data science project team, so usually who we need in a data science project team. But in Malaysia, you are not going to get all of these people in your project team. Because first of all, we have very lack of like funding. Even like if you are in a very big MNC company, if the company is not a software company, if the company is not a data company, like Google, Facebook, Twitter, whatsoever, you are not going to get all of these people. You will become someone that will do end-to-end. So what is the end-to-end? So it started from the data, where you store the data, which is in the database. So the data should be secured, centralized, and then we can alter the data if needed. So usually the one that will handle this is database admin together with the data engineer. And then after that, we have the data analysis and visualization, where we already get a problem from a business expert, business domain, someone that give you business requirement, and they say like, oh, I want this kind of thing to be done, and then, okay, you go and find the data, you fetch the data, and you wrangle and cleaning the data. So in a company that actually quite big, you might have one data engineer that will help you to wrangle the data. So they will give you quite clean data. The data is already being done, extract, transform lot lah, means like lot in a transform in a very nice way. Then understand data, pre-process the data. For the company that doesn't have data engineer, the data scientist need to do it. Or maybe those who doesn't really reach on machine learning part, the data analyst will do it. That's how Excel becoming a part of that lah, Excel or spreadsheet. Then the next thing is predictive modeling. So, I think like the analytic dashboard is not enough for this. So we need to build a machine learning model that actually can do the automation or can predict it very nice way. So that's why we need to create a machine learning model to solve the data problem. So here come the data scientist and machine learning engineer. So what is the difference between data scientist and ML engineer? Data scientists, they focus on data. They don't focus on model. And then they started from the analysis, visualization, ranking. But machine learning engineers, they focus on the model itself. They want to make sure that the model is as accurate as possible. So in a company that have data scientists and machine learning right away, both of them, so they will do it hand in hand. But if they don't have it, then either machine learning engineer will do from end to end, or data scientist will do from end to end. And the deployment part usually being done by ML engineer. So that's why if you go to a company that actually you try to find a job that is like have a machine learning engineer roles, usually they will ask if this person have a software engineering background, which is like either they know Java or they know Python, but they can deploy it like maybe in AWS, like using the serverless, Kubernetes, Docker, whatsoever. And then they will help to deploy to the specific platform, but working together with the backend software engineer. The engineer is not going to work alone, because if they do everything alone by themselves, then they don't have time to even tune the model, but they need to help to monitor the model. And then the user interface. User interface, usually the dashboard is being done by front-end software engineer or maybe the data analyst. If they just use Power BI, Tableau, Google Studio, and then they will use maybe data analyst is enough. But for a company that need to build a dashboard from scratch, then front-end software engineer is needed. So percentage time taken to finish up one data science project, we could say 70% just on data wrangling, because data is very, very, very bad. Every data is bad. Every data is worse. I never seen a data that is very clean in my life. Okay, let's go to the next part. So this one we will answer. So academic research versus industry practice. So since I've been in academic for 8 years, I would say, doing my research in PhD, and after that teaching and doing a research and supervise students, Academic is very nice. You get a partially clean data. So the data that you see in Kaggle is already partially clean. You know already. You don't need to think how to label this data. In industry, you will get very, very messy data. My very first task, I get like very big JSON files that they dump it to me, and I need to, first of all, I need to think how to read this JSON file. I read this import JSON also cannot, right? Last time I used import JSON maybe just to read this JSON file. And then in the semiconductor company where you have like a lot of data, more data than you ever had, then one of my friends just used up the GPU just to read all the CSV files. So it's just the same everywhere. Industry has a messy data. And the volume of data is also very different. In academic, you can get very small and medium. Small and medium, which is like enough lah, can do research, right? Can tune the theory, can do some sort of mathematics there. But industry, you will get small, medium, huge. Why you have all of this? Because you have a very big data, it's very difficult to wrangle, very difficult to get inside, or you can get very small data that you cannot do anything about it. What I can do with this small data is maybe build a dashboard. And then we will see, we will wait until the data is enough, something like that. And then the project KPI, oh not yet, wait. Okay, the project KPI, in academic, you will have like the KPI usually on theory and algorithm. Okay, for the students here that don't really understand what is KPI, KPI is a key performance indicator. So it's not really on your KPI as a student or as an employee, but also every project, every task that you are doing usually will have the key performance indicator. Where in research, usually people will see on theory and algorithm, like how much your model accuracy increase. Even 0.05 increment, you can submit a paper already. But industry, they don't look at the accuracy a lot. They look at it, but the most important for them is the serving time, the cost, and the trustworthiness. When I say about serving time and cost, means like usually you will have like one model, if it is right. Okay, I will give you one situation. A machine learning model that takes about 15 minutes to predict, but have an accuracy of 99.9% versus a machine learning model that just take about 20 seconds to predict, but have about 80% accuracy. Which one will they choose? I would say they will choose on the 80% accuracy of 20 seconds running time. Because everything is precious, like time is precious. The cost itself also, because if running too high, then maybe you need to buy a very big GPU. Why you want me to buy a lot of GPU? So the cost increase lah, something like that. And some more trustworthiness. Deep learning is very difficult to convince people compared to machine learning, because machine learning you can see like decision tree, oh why this is happening. But deep learning is like black box. So when you try to explain to others on how it is being done, it's very difficult lah, like how this background is being removed and blurred. So if I try to explain in a deep learning way, I will say it's just a black box, no one will trust you. So in academic, it's a non-profit base, so that's why theory and algorithm is the most important. But industry is a profit base. Everything is money for them. Okay, next. So to deploy a data science project, the cost of server hosting, hiring expertise such as data engineers, data scientists, software engineers is too expensive. Especially in Malaysia as a developing country, I would say our talents, we have a lot of fresh grad, aspiring data scientists, aspiring AI engineer. But then when they start to move to mid-level, Malaysia cannot afford them. Most of Malaysia company cannot afford to pay them lah, so that's why they go outside. So they already go out of Malaysia. So that's why most of the mid-level and experts in Malaysia, in any field, especially software engineering, is very difficult to get hired inside Malaysia. Because they will say like, oh, the salary is very low, then I just go outside lah, much better, something like that. So this is the thing lah. So that's why expertise in Malaysia, we have a lot of people that can do, but not every people can do. So lack of expert manpower. Need to use multiple platforms to succeed in AI projects. So let's see what is the platform. Okay, next. So this is the tech stacks. All of this is actually the one that I have used and been using. So databases, data warehouse, We used before this MariaDB. MySQL is a must. Amazon Redshift for data warehouse. Talent as a data catalog, data warehouse. And in Torum, we currently use MongoDB actually. So MongoDB, they have their own SQL, I mean Mongo query language, MQL. So it's quite different with the MySQL actually. And then in AI technologies, we use PostgreSQL actually. So need to have the arts of Googling. And then the next thing is the collaboration and CI/CD tools. So if you are a software engineer, if you are doing the DevOps, usually you will have this Jenkins, Bitbucket, Jira, Tulip, and GitHub. So most of the companies, they will use GitHub and Jira. Some of the companies, if they cannot afford Jira, they will go for Notion. Tulip also, like our ST Microelectronics, we use Tulip. It's very difficult to use. I think in FAI Holdings, we use Bitbucket. And then in Torum, we use Jira and Git. And then Jenkins, like if you are the very good DevOps, usually they will do CI/CD lah. CI/CD means like continuous improvement, continuous development. But not everyone can do it lah. It's quite difficult actually because, and there's a lot of pro and cons of using CI/CD and not using CI/CD. And then for the dev tools, usually I will use Python, PyTorch, TensorFlow, sklearn, scikit-learn, Keras, everything, OpenCV, Pandas, of course Pandas a lot. And then Node.js if I want to deploy to serverless like Lambda. So currently I'm using mostly on the serverless side lah, because serverless is very cheap. And then NVIDIA, like if using computer vision, of course, we are going to use NVIDIA a lot, need to know how to configure the CUDA. And then TIBCO was used in my previous company in ST Microelectronics. And then for visualization, Power BI, because at that time we don't really have server to host our machine learning model. That's very interesting. And then we don't have software engineer to build the dashboard for us. What we have is only Power BI. Power BI. So how to deploy machine learning model inside Power BI and how to mesh the Python code to Power BI and how to collaborate everything by using SharePoints, Power BI, and Microsoft Teams. That's the thing that how we manage the project in ST Microelectronics last time lah. Streamlit, usually when you want to build a very nice dashboard without using third party, means like cheap, very easy, free way lah. And in ST also we use the typical Spotfire lah for visualization. And then for the deployment, containerization, we usually use Docker and Kubernetes lah. So Docker, there's a lot of stage lah. If you started to use the cloud Docker like ECR repository to put in, then it will have like much more configuration need to do. And then for the ML ops, until now I would say I never use any ML ops because usually it starts in the development when to go to the testing, never go to the production. So that's why the ML ops usually still in the cloud, when it's the ML ops. But if you are going to use it, usually we use either Databricks. At that time we were introduced to the Databricks. They have a very nice ML tool. And then in AWS also, we have the SageMaker. But SageMaker, some can really, I think they have the SageMaker inference that it can actually identify, can actually monitor that. And also, I think Azure and whatsoever lah. Okay, next. So this one will be next. So the future of data science. So since you guys are students, so you want to know the future of data science, right? So if you really want to understand the future of data science, my advice to you is try to join international conferences on machine learning like ICML, ICLAIR, NeurIPS. If you are a female, sorry to the males, if you are female and you are a minority, underrepresented group, usually a Muslim. In Malaysia, maybe Indian, I think, or the non-Bumiputra, I would say. And then you also come from developing countries. Usually, they have a free ticket that if it is hosted online, usually you need to pay for 100 USD. But if it is hosted online, then you can just like get it free of charge. They have some scholarship, sponsorship for that. Other than that, also you can try to volunteer in Women in Machine Learning, Women in AI. There's a lot of like non-profit organization that give you free ticket for attending these kind of conferences. So that's how actually, even though I'm not in academics, I still get to know what is the latest data science and machine learning research that have like what is the current progress. So what can we summarize? Like we have a no code, low code, data-centric. If you know that Andrew Ng, I think is the one that already opened up a company that really do data-centric machine learning, federated learning. This one is not really new. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they already talked about this. And then explainable AI. This is very difficult part to do, and they're still in the research. Automated machine learning, they already started in 2016. So until now, I think it's quite matured enough lah. So that's why there is no code. The no code happened because of AutoML. And then the meta learning, cooperative AI, and quantum ML. Okay, so let's see one by one. I just like pick up a very simple thing. Okay, next. What is explainable AI? Like I mentioned to you guys just now, the AI itself need to be very trustworthy. Means like you can explain to your stakeholders what is AI. So explainable AI is a set of tools and frameworks that allow humans to understand and trust the results and prediction created by machine learning model. So means like before this, you put into the model loan rejected, but you don't know why the loan is rejected. You want to explain to your stakeholders also, you cannot explain because the black box is doing that for you. But in explainable AI, they will give you the reason. Loan rejected because user has low this kind of thing like credit score or whatsoever. So it's more transparent, fairness, and outcomes in AI-powered decision making. So this is what people are doing. Okay, next. So the next part is AutoML. AutoML means like a methods and processes to make machine learning available for non-machine learning experts to improve efficiency of machine learning. So means like even though you don't know what is machine learning, like what we are doing in AI technologies, we built the AI no-code platform. So basically, we want everyone to just use AutoML. Like even though you don't have any knowledge in machine learning, you can do it, something like that. But it's very difficult to do. Very difficult to do lah. Okay, next is meta learning. Meta learning is when you have a very small training example. This is real because like most of the data, like I mentioned just now, some of the data are very small industry. So you want to make sure that you can train a good model. So how to do that? Learn to learn task. So quickly learn new task lah. So means like you have very small machine learning, very small data, and then you want to increase the accuracy, so you keep training on them. So that's what is called as meta learning, and it should be adaptable to environmental changes lah, like reinforcement learning actually. So you are forcing them to understand what is it, something like that. Like so that is a very simple example on meta learning. Okay, next. So I will introduce a little bit about my company because we are doing a quite futuristic AI that we will try to realize in Malaysia. Okay, next. So this is our products actually. We have like eKYC, we have Everpass, our blockchain platform, Ever LPR, license plate recognition, and we also open up workshops, school Ever AI that is actually associated with our Ever AI product. So what is Ever AI? Next. So FAI, you can complete the data science without any programming technique. You can support all type of data, including image, video, text, stability data, and audio. You can support all data science process and production level, and support all machine learning model. Okay, next. So like here, you can upload data to the platform, or you can use the existing data set if you want to try. If you want to try, just type ever-ai.app, everai.app, then you can sign up and try for free. And then you can get the data overview. Like this one is Iris data set. Like if you're really familiar with machine learning, you usually start with Iris lah, to classify what is the species of the Iris. So this is the overview, and then like you can train the model. So when you click start training, then it will start to train. And then the next thing is like we have a very nice data pre-processing. Go next. So to transform raw data into useful data. So what is the distribution of the data, the PCA, the TSNE? So if you don't really understand what all of this, actually, you can just browse through our website and go to the blog. So we actually explain on this, or you can just go to our Facebook page. We have our live previously lah, to get you guys to understand what is the TSNE and PCA and how to read all of this. So right now we open up the free forever plan for everyone, and for everyone here that are students, if you think like this quota that given to you in free forever is not enough, feel free to subscribe to the student. We give you 30% discount on subscription for 1 year and 1 month free trial. Means like from 99 ringgit per month, it's just about 67 ringgit, I think around that. Around 60, 70 ringgit. Okay. And then next. So now we open to 200. We have about 170 people already subscribed, and we just finished our training with Siri. The first one that is going to use us in their enterprise level lah. Okay, next. And then you can also we also open up AI for business, AI for education, and AI for everyone. And some courses that we also teach kids, Python for kids, and we also teach AI for kids as well. And we also teach the lecturers on how to deploy AI models in the cloud by using AWS, and also maybe classifying image with deep learning, web app for object detection. Okay. Next. So before we end, yes, it's really 30 minutes. What do you really need to become a data scientist or AI engineer, or maybe in a data field, or maybe a no-code data scientist? You really need patience, because even if you use the no-code tool, you still need to do the art of data wrangling. So in our workshop, usually we started with the data visualization and how to wrangle your data, because the data wrangling require you a lot of patience. You're going to see a very messy data. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation. So passion. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much to Dr. Fairoza. There was a lot of insights and a lot of experience, as you said. So right now we are going to do a Q&A session. So if you guys haven't noticed, in the chat, there is a link to a Slido, and you guys can ask any questions. It's okay, it will be anonymous. So you guys can ask any question you want. And maybe we'll wait for around 3 minutes for people to ask their questions. As you can see okay, we've got some questions incoming. Okay, guys, just ask any question because it will be anonymous. So we've got some questions here. So, Doctor, if you would like, you can answer which question you want first.
I think this basic salary of data scientists, we have to, are you opening up a Kahoot quiz for this? I think it's in the Kahoot quiz, right, this one?
Yeah, we insert that into the question.
Okay. So
we will do it after the Q&A.
We wait for that first.
All right.
I don't want to reveal now. Okay, what made me transpose, transform code. Shifted your focus from EE to data scientist. Okay, so in EE actually we have programming. We started to learn C programming lah, and then in Nagaoka University of Technology, we have 3 minor courses, minor major, which is first in the power electronics, and the next one is on device, which is doing semiconductor stuff, and the next one is in information system. So I'm not really shifting, but I am actually mixing the EE with the computer science, which is we do a lot of signal processing, so everything is like a circuit, but we program it. So, but then when I was in master, I did a lot of even though I'm still in information in electrical electronics, but I take a lot of lectures that involve computer science, because I'm much more interested in computer. And then I didn't start AI when I was my PhD and master actually, because my field of research doesn't really need to use AI. I'm doing the traditional image processing. And then after that, my final year of PhD, the computing power become nice already, that we have a very good GPU. Well, I'm not really too old, but at that time, the ImageNet started at 2012. At that time, I was in my 3rd year undergraduate. And then the very nice GPU where you can do the deep learning started at 2014 or 2015. And then my field started to diverge to AI at 2017 or 2018. I'm not too old, eh? So it was just like, it's just like eventually lah, because I really like computer. Okay, next question. What is the most challenging experience you had to endure as a data scientist? When you try to explain to the stakeholders, no one understands you. That's the first thing. You try to speak maths, right? When I first coming to the industry, my slides is full of mathematics and if else, you know, like pseudocode, something like that. Then I realized no one understand. Then after that, I try to switch lah. I try to speak in business language. Actually, being a COO in AI technologies really helped me on becoming very fluent to speak to people in a business language, or else I will just speak in a technical language. That's the most challenging experience that I would say lah. What would your advice be for freshmen who are just stepping into the world of computer science? Passion. Not really that. It's just like, you know, if you learn computer science, software engineering, even though if you are very good in software engineering, you do really need Stack Overflow, and Googling to help you to finish the task. Because you are not a robot, you don't really memorize everything. So be more diligent. Like when I started to learn AI, and then like I started to do everything, I joined the Udacity courses, I took the Google GCP cloud certificates and everything. So just be very, very diligent to do that. Okay, next. Do data scientists get paid well in Malaysia? Well, I'm still in Malaysia, so meaning I get paid well lah. I would say not everyone lah. That's why you need to compete very well. Do you think that the data industry in Malaysia is mature enough? Very difficult question. I think not yet. Because when we try to sell this AI product also, people are thinking like this blackboard really turn you into a very nice dashboard. Some of them, they just need a data visualization dashboard. Even in semiconductor company, they don't want the bombastic ML model. It's just a wrangling of data, you know, mix and match here and there only. Okay. How can I start learning coding from zero? Okay, I think I started with the C programming that I started learning when I was undergrad. But if you are from zero, I would suggest you go to the introduction to Python programming in Udacity. They have it. Another one, I think like there's a website called programming.com maybe that you can learn Python by yourself. But try to learn Python because Python is very easy to understand lah. And then after that, try to master how to do if else for loop and some sort of data structure and algorithm. Would you suggest being a data scientist in Malaysia or overseas in terms of pay, work environment, etc.? Okay, so what's the difference between overseas and Malaysia? If you are working remotely from Malaysia to a US company or European company, you need to become burung hantu. Oh, when it's like you don't sleep when people are sleeping. And then payment, I think like the overseas company can pay you very well compared to Malaysia, but then you don't have the EPF so and whatsoever. So you need to make sure that you have the backup lah. You need to mencarung by yourself. You need to actually have your own takaful. And then that's in terms of pay lah. Work environment, you need to become diverse. If you see the World Cup opening, they started with the Surah Al-Hujra at that time. Right? I was very impressed. If only Malaysian people know that we need to embrace the culture and diversity so that how we can become a very good Malaysia. So it's the same. So if you work in multinational company, if you work overseas, if you work Malaysia also, I'm the only Malaysian Muslim that work in Torab. And in FYI also, I'm the only female that actually among the founders. And in semiconductor company in ST Microelectronics also in the team, I'm the only 2 females I think around that. So I already get used to becoming the minority. So basically try to get used to the work environment. Malaysia or overseas is all the same. You can also demand the amount, the exact salary that you can get overseas in Malaysia as well. Okay, do Malaysia have a lot of AI industry? A lot, seriously. Until now, I still get a lot of like recruiters either from Malaysia or outside of Malaysia. So they have a lot. can I know what is your daily task? Are you doing modeling all the time or creating dashboard? Oh, when I was in ST Microelectronic, I just creating dashboard. I do modeling lah, and then I give it to them, and after that they don't trust my model. So at the end of the day, I just create dashboard. But now in Thorum, I do machine learning, deep learning, as well as software development, meaning that deploying in API or whatsoever. So DevOps also lah. So it's quite nice lah actually, because sometimes you don't really need to build a lot of model. You can just take the model outside, but you need to know how to deploy it. Okay, next. Any tips getting started with data scientist in an internship? Can, but internship you need to find. If you go for an internship in startup, maybe you can gain a lot. But if you go for internship in a company that have like a very big company, maybe you cannot gain a lot lah, because usually you just get one task at a time. How do you recommend students to self-learn data science? Okay, follow me in Medium. I have one blog that actually being read by a lot of people, mastering AI programming with Python. So that's how you can self-learn lah. But you need to know lah, I am a PhD graduate, and the next thing is I have the basic of programming. So you need to know your own pace also, how to self-learn. Okay, what are the steps to learn data science? Because there are many videos online. So how should we start and slowly progress? How should we start and slowly progress? Very interesting. So there's a lot of videos, but start to dig from a very simple stuff. In AI YouTube channel, we have a lot of like introduction to AI videos. So maybe you can start from that. Even in Women in AI also, Women in AI YouTube channel. So just Google Women in AI and AI technologies. Okay, next.
Doctor, sorry to interrupt, but if you find the question similar, you can just like skip through, because there's too many questions overflowing.
Wow. Yeah, 190 people, right? Wow. Can you suggest some data companies? Very difficult. I think like, yeah, AI is good. We have like, I think like one of my friends is doing IT static. If you really like to go to computer vision, you can go for IT static. I think like the rest, like you can try to go for semiconductor companies that are very big, like Petronas. Petronas have their own data science team as well. But it depends on you, like your passion. Sometimes you go there and then suddenly you just become a tester, software tester, or maybe a dashboard developer. Okay. Is being a female, can mechanical engineering student become a data scientist, and do they start from zero? Not really starting from zero. If your mechanical engineering curriculum, you have like programming class, then you are not really starting from zero, because basically it's just almost the same lah. You can become a robots developer also, robot software developer. It's quite nice. Okay, next. Is being a female industry is hard? Does it become a disadvantage? I think like most of the moderators here are males. How I want to answer this question? We need to have another breakout room to have this, among the females. It's not really that hard lah. It's just like, okay, usually the employer doesn't really understand the female responsibilities, especially when you already get married. So that's why in my previous company, I was among the women ambassador in the company, that we try to bring out a lot of engineers outside of their circles, build their networking, and to make sure that even though after they give birth, pregnant, and despite of their responsibilities, their voice still being heard. Like, there's one thing that very nice there is actually, like when we train unconscious bias to them, is like diversity is not about you, but it's about I. Means like we need to start first. If you think being a female in this industry is hard, it's because you are thinking it very hard. So it's not really a disadvantage. You need to work on it. You need to work together with among of your colleague, other colleague, not only female, but also the males. Okay, next. If I have a certificate in data analyst, can I be a data scientist? Can? It's quite easy also lah, but because you just need to learn about machine learning model. But some of the people, I have some of my staff lah, they really, at first they want to become a data scientist, but then they think like, oh, I think data analyst is enough for me, because data itself is interesting for this kind of person. Okay. may no future outlook on integration data healthcare system. Oh, I just actually come back from a hospital. I was hospitalized for 7 days, right? And then during the hospitalization, I see that the healthcare industry is not yet there. But it's actually like we can improve, because I also did a lot of medical imaging research when I was in PhD and when I was an academician. So basically, it can helps you, but the doctor diagnosis and the rest of automation sometimes still need humans a decision. So is there, but not yet. I would say in a matured developed country like China, US already use it, but country, even Japan also, they still don't really use AI in their healthcare system. Okay. What should we learn to become a data scientist if we already have the basic in programming? Then you just need to understand what is AI, machine learning, and deep learning, I think. So you need to understand all of that, and then after that, try to code in Python. Okay. Wow, so many questions. Oh, not finished yet.
I think this would be the last one then. If,
okay.
Yeah.
Do you agree with this statement? Data scientists in Malaysia nowadays is just doing AI job, computer vision, NLP, chatbot, and so on. AI is a part of data science. So of course we are doing the AI job. If we didn't do AI job, then how can we become a data scientist? Computer vision, NLP, is a field of artificial intelligence. This one require a very longer talk lah. Then I can tell you what is actually computer vision and NLP actually. But this is correct lah. We need to do the AI job lah. What do you mean by this AI job? I think like
Probably
maybe
it's asking like, what's the difference between an AI engineer and difference with data scientist? Like what exactly their focus is?
this question is actually about AI job. This means it's like automated, like job is automated by AI. So they just doing the automation, something like that, is it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's quite unclear on the
Yeah.
statement. Okay, I think that will be the last question. Thank you for answering most of the question in the Slido. Okay, Alif, you wanna continue?
Okay, so now we will have our last session, which is the Q&A. You guys, Nanda will give you guys a link, and you guys can join and try to answer some quiz. So the quizzes will be based on what Dr. Faizura has presented for. So I hope you guys stay focused. So Nanda, can you share the link?
Perhaps send in the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so anyone can join. We have a lot of people joining. That's nice. So there's around 200 students right now. So it would be nice if we can get around 100 people to join the quiz.
Yeah, quickly join. There is a limit for those who can join the
there's
quiz.
limited space.
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit more, guys. Up to 100. Come on. There's still places.
Also for the name, if possible, please be there's no any foul words. Yeah. All right, 6 more. 3 more.
Okay, one more.
Okay. So let's do allows. Okay, I'll just start because
Okay.
taking some time.
Time. Okay. A lot of people.
Majority of the players have answered. Okay, so I think yeah, congrats to all who get full marks for the correctly. So I think, yeah, that's all for the quiz. So thank you for answering and paying attention throughout the meeting and hearing all the wonderful speech from our doctor and our speaker here. So these were the question and yeah.
Yeah, and doctor would discuss some of the questions, maybe clear some, because there's one question about the average salary, right? So can you
Yes,
like
that's right.
declare? Yeah.
Okay. So is it in your question in quizzes here? The salary?
Yeah.
Okay, can I see that?
Nanda can scroll.
I think
Or you
yeah, here it is.
okay, junior data scientist, right? I put up junior data scientist lah because you guys are fresh grad, right? So the correct answer, it will be the last one actually, 3,600 per month, less than that. So that's the basic salary, because usually when you start as a fresh, it's still the same with any other profession you are in. Like regardless where you are graduating from, even you grad from Japan also, you come back to Malaysia, your salary low also. It's just that you have the advantage of Japanese language. But then you can climb the ladder. You need to know the art of negotiation. You need to know also the art of like improving yourself. And I've seen a lot of people actually after 5 years in industry, at the age of 30 years old, at the age of 31, 32 years old, they can get 5-figure salary. So don't feel very upset that junior data scientists pay you very the same with other works, other career, but then you can jump very high. That's all.
Okay. And then is there any other question that Dr. Singh proposed?
Okay, I think like the most important question, I think, can
I will scroll one
most
by one from the top. Yeah.
the go down. I think there's another one. The most important skill needed to be a data scientist or AI engineer. It's not really programming language. It's not really ability to push tasks to junior engineers. Like if you are alone, you don't have anyone to push. Like me, I always alone, right? I get used to alone. For me, I think programming knowledge is a must. In this question, maybe programming will be like your most important. But then the next thing is communication. Communication. If you don't communicate in any other work also, even as a software engineer, if you don't communicate, I think like your lecturer give you a lot of tasks as a grouping task, right? Because most of them is actually to encourage you to learn to communicate with people. So communication is the key lah for this. Okay, I think that's all. Maybe the rest is quite straightforward. If you listen to my talk, you know already.
Yeah, agree. Okay. So Adif, you want to?
Okay, I think that's it for tonight's talk. One last thing, Doctor, is a photo session.
Okay.
So I would like to ask other students who can open their cameras for a quick photo session. Is that okay? All right, we have Liu Xiaoting, Al Musami, Hidayat. Okay, is there any more students who want to join the photo? I mean, yes. So we got 3 handsome men right there, Nabil. Okay. Okay, so I think Nanda will take the picture, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you give the cue, Nanda?
Okay. Hold on. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay, another one for the GDSC sign, like this one.
Yeah. Please do with your GDSC sign.
Okay.
Okay.
Nanda, cue.
Okay. I think that's all then.
Okay.
For
Thank you, everyone.
okay, so for now we will share the form for your merits and for your attendance, basically for the main. So Dr. Fairoza, if you have anything urgent, you can leave first, or else you can stay first.
All right.
I
Thank
think
you,
I will.
Doctor.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a
Okay.
nice night.
Thank you,
Thanks a
Doctor.
lot, Dr. Fairoza.
Bye bye.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the wonderful speech. Okay. Donna.
Okay. Can give the marriage, right?